It would make Dad really happy to have me, his eldest daughter, use it. How can you act so freely without even discussing the division of property? That's incredibly irresponsible. Be quiet. You have no right to criticize me. My name is Hillary, I am 35 years old and a homemaker. I have been married to Andrew, who works for a small to medium-sized company, for 3 years. His salary isn't great, but I don't have any particular complaints. Andrew and I have known each other since childhood, though we weren't close from the start, and I hardly even noticed him when we were young. We met by chance 5 years ago and hit it off. 2 years later, Andrew proposed, and we got married. 2 years after that, our son Ryan was born. Our marriage has been going smoothly. However, one evening, I'm home. Welcome back, you must be tired. Yeah, thanks for everything. What's gotten into you all of a sudden? Something wrong? No, it's nothing. Andrew was definitely not in his usual mood, but he kept quiet about the reason behind it. So, I left it at that. After dinner that night, he looked resolved and started talking to me. I have something I need to tell you. Surprised by his intense gaze, I wondered if he might ask for a divorce. As I trembled with fear, he began to speak slowly. It turns out I'm being transferred. I'm sorry. I had braced for something much worse, so my tension immediately eased. Ah, it's just a transfer. That's a relief. I thought you were going to ask for a divorce. I wouldn't say something like that. But I feel bad, especially since Ryan was just born. I won't force you, but will you come with me? Of course. Who else is going to take care of you? Thank you. Thus, our family decided to move for a while. Andrew's new workplace was in Texas. It was still warm in November, quite comfortable. Half a year passed since we adjusted to living here when one day during dinner, a phone call came. The caller ID read Mom. Hello? Mom, it's been a while. But there was no response from her. I checked the screen again, it was still the call with Mom displayed. As I put the phone to my ear, I could hear sniffing. Mom? I'm sorry, Hillary. I'm so sorry. Usually cheerful, my mom sounded serious. Your dad has passed away. Wait, what? I was shocked. He had been so healthy when we last met before the move. My mind went blank. While my mom was still talking, I couldn't comprehend her words. Noticing my state, Andrew took the phone. Hello, Andrew speaking. How long had it been when I snapped back to reality just as Andrew was hanging up? After that, he explained the conversation to me. He contacted his workplace and took a week off. The next day, we went back to my parents' home. Mom, I'm home. Are you okay? Hillary, I'm sorry this happened so suddenly. It's nothing you should worry about. As we entered, my sister and her husband were also there. You guys are late. It's been a while, and that's the first thing you say? We came from far, it can't be helped. My sister was visibly annoyed, and her husband just nodded in greeting. What an unpleasant couple. Why did Dad have to die? You don't even know that? What's with you? You're being rude. Let's calm down. Actually, Dad made us promise not to tell. Apparently, Dad fell ill the day after Andrew was transferred. They watched over him at home for a while, but he didn't improve, so they took him to the hospital. The diagnosis was cancer, and it was already terminal. He was advised to avoid worrying us if possible. I wish I could have been with Dad instead, he was always so thoughtful. The more I thought about it, the more I teared up. My mom was also crying, saying, I'm sorry. Amidst this, my sister was the only one who seemed indifferent. That feels really dishonest, coming from you. Wait, what are you talking about? You're just after Dad's inheritance, aren't you? We won't let you inherit anything. Mom, who stayed with him, and I are going to get what he left behind. I never thought about that. When did you even come back home? Your sister came back around the time your dad started going to the hospital. It seems she had no place to live and was struggling. Mom. You don't need to say that now. My sister raised her voice all of a sudden, showing she didn't want to discuss that. Well, that's how it is. Don't get your hopes up. Despite being in financial trouble, how can she be so thoughtless? It pains me to think of how Mom feels. My sister wasn't always this greedy. She used to play with me and took good care of me as a child. I can't forget that day, the day I came home crying after a boy in my class played a prank on me. My sister was at home, and she was very concerned. She asked in detail what happened, where, and who was involved. After I finished telling her, she stormed out of the house. After a while, she returned home. I just told him off because I was still in the park. Don't worry about it. Having such a kind sister made me feel reassured. I wonder when she became so prickly and obsessed with money. It seems she changed after she started dating her current husband. He isn't without income, but he seems to spend lavishly. Probably, his influence made her become money-obsessed. As I pondered this, Mom explained what would happen next, and then we dispersed. Our family home isn't very large, so we decided to stay at a hotel. The wake and funeral proceeded smoothly from the next day. However, I noticed something peculiar. My sister's husband was present, but my sister was nowhere to be seen. Mom, where did my sister go at a time like this? Really, I hadn't noticed. Maybe she's in the bathroom? It seemed too long for just a bathroom break. Ultimately, my sister did not return during the funeral. After everything ended and the attendees had left, Mom suddenly started crying. She had been holding it in because of the guests. I hugged her, and we both cried. Dad may be gone, but I won't leave you alone, Mom. Mom nodded as she cried. Days passed, and Mom still seemed shell-shocked. Dad's presence had been significant. I didn't know what to say to her, I could only watch over her. But my sister was different. How much is Dad's inheritance? I mean, isn't it meant for us kids to use in times like this? All she talked about in front of Mom was money. Just as I was about to say enough, Mom spoke. Yes, we need to keep things moving for your sake as well. Otherwise, your dad will be upset with us. Saying this, she started sorting through Dad's belongings. I began to help her, but my sister, claiming she had errands, left with her husband. After finishing the first floor, we moved on to sorting the second floor. Then I heard Mom scream. I ran towards her voice, which led to Dad's study. Opening the door, I found Mom crouched down. Mom, are you okay? It's gone. What is? The money is missing. Mom had a bank book in her hand. Let me see. Checking the bank book, I saw it was empty. How much was in it? $80,000. $80,000. I told her I would call the police and left the room. As I descended the stairs, I saw my sister. Sis, it's serious. We need to call the police. What are you panicking about? The money that was in the bank book has been stolen. Despite her obsession with money, my sister showed no surprise, she even seemed calm. No need to call the police. What are you joking about at a time like this? There's no one else to contact. It's not theft. I used it. I don't understand what you mean. You're an adult, you should understand the meaning of words. The money in there was spent by me and my husband. Why? And you used it without permission? It would make Dad really happy to have me, his eldest daughter, use it. How can you act so freely without even discussing the division of property? That's incredibly irresponsible. Be quiet. You have no right to criticize me. Exactly when did you take it out? During the funeral. You were doing that while we thought you were missing. It's pointless to participate in such a dull ceremony. How could my sister be so selfish? Unapologetic, our conversation went nowhere. Then, as Mom came down from the second floor, my sister spoke before I could say anything. Mom, we used the money in the bank book. Kate used it? You needed money that badly? Yes. For clothes, furniture, appliances. The rest went to the down payment on our new house. A new house? Yes, it's not very big but better than this old place. I couldn't stand living in such an outdated house. But we let you live here. It was for the money. Can't help it. But now that there's no money left, this house is useless to us. Mom was dumbfounded by my sister's selfishness. My words fell on deaf ears, and the money spent would not return. I guess I have to give up. Then, my sister hit us with another surprise. Also, I sold this house. Even an old house like this brings in some money. That's too selfish. What about Mom? The new house is only big enough for me and my husband. Sorry, but this is goodbye. If you care about Mom so much, why don't you live with her? With those words, my sister left the house. Mom, I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing, Hillary? I couldn't do anything. I couldn't protect this house filled with our family memories. I'm sorry. The sadness of losing Dad, the guilt towards Mom, anger at my sister, and above all, my own powerlessness. All these feelings and emotions overflowed with my tears. Mom gently stroked my head. I'm very grateful to you, Hillary. And Kate is suffering too. I just want my daughters to be happy. If losing this house means happiness, then it's fine. Mom. I felt Mom's deep love all over again and just cried endlessly. How much time had passed? Then, I remembered something crucial, Mom's residence. The house had been sold without our consent, and we had been coldly told we couldn't live together. Mom, what will you do if this house is gone? How about we share a place? I'm still in Texas for my transfer, but if you're fine with it, Mom, that would be great. I couldn't protect the house, but I really don't want you to be on your own. But only if you're okay with it, Mom. You don't have to force yourself. Actually, the inheritance Dad left wasn't just money. He had prepared a house from the ground up just for Kate and her husband. They don't know about it? Dad had us promise to keep it a secret until it was completed. He wanted to see the surprise and joy on Kate's face. It was just one more month until completion. Dad had a big surprise in store for them. It's pretty disrespectful of them, right? Since this house will be gone, I'll move into that new house. So don't worry about me. Hearing this from Mom, I felt a bit relieved, but it was sad that I couldn't live with her. As I was thinking this, Mom spoke again. But such a big house is too much for one person. Hillary, would you like to live with me? Only if it's okay with you guys, of course. I was taken aback by Mom's unexpected offer, but it was exactly what I had been hoping for. There was no reason to refuse. I'd love to. Andrew and Ryan would be happy too. Thank you. I hope it can happen. Thus, we decided to live together. We cleaned up the house and handed it over to my sister. Until the new house was completed, Mom came to live with us in Texas. Andrew and Ryan were very happy to live with her. A month later, we received news that the new house was complete. We made plans to see it the next Sunday. In fact, no one except Mom had seen the new house yet. As we drove following the navigation, we arrived at the destination. My husband and I were awestruck by the mansion. Isn't this a bit too magnificent? It's because your dad worked so hard for us. I hate to ask, but how much did it cost? About $1 million. $1 million. I couldn't hide my astonishment at the amount. The security is foolproof. The neighbors are nice too. Shall we go and greet them now? Led by Mom, our family went around greeting the neighbors. Just as Mom said, they were all nice people. After finishing the greetings, we left the new house and returned home. It was a beautiful house, wasn't it? When does Andrew's transfer end? I think about 6 more months, but I need to check with the company to be sure. I see. Why don't you move to the new house first without me? I couldn't bear to leave you alone, Andrew. Don't worry about me. I'll come to the new house once it's over. Andrew, thank you. Thus, we decided to move to the new house. One day, a few months after we started living in the new house, I ran into my sister while shopping at the supermarket. Isn't that Hillary? Fancy meeting you here. Do you live around here? Yes, we just moved here. Really, you should invite me over to your house. No, that's impossible. Why not? We're sisters, after all. I don't consider you my sister anymore. Don't be so cold. No matter how many times I refuse, my sister won't listen. So, I decided to ignore her and head home. However, she follows me. I tell her not to follow me home, but she doesn't listen at all. It's like she's stalking me. Before I knew it, we arrived at my house. My sister is shocked. Why are you living in such a mansion? Your husband's income couldn't possibly afford this. It's from Dad's inheritance. Wait, Dad's inheritance was more than that, $80,000. How much did it cost? According to Mom, about $1 million. What? I only got $80,000. You just took it and then cut off contact. Give me some too. Stop it. Suddenly, my sister lunges at me. I try desperately to resist, but she's bigger and overpowers me. Just when I thought it was hopeless. Kate. Stop it this instant. The stern voice that scolded her was Mom's. She had been near the entrance and came running when she heard us fighting. If you keep tormenting Hillary, I'll call the police. Faced with this, my sister snapped out of it and reluctantly disappeared from our presence. Mom, thank you. Was it really okay to meet my sister like that? It's fine. I have Hillary, Mr. Andrew, and little Ryan. Besides, Hillary is very precious to me. Protecting someone dear is only natural. Mom. Months passed after that incident, and Andrew's transfer period ended. Finally, Andrew could join us in the new house. Ah, it's great to live with everyone. Of course. The family is finally all together. Andrew, thank you for always being there. I look forward to more. Not at all, I'm the one who should be thankful. I felt very happy during our first family gathering in a long time. After 2 years of peaceful days, the new year brought a reunion with relatives. Kate's story came up. According to relatives, she moved into a new house, but it turned out to be defective. The exterior and interior fell apart quickly. The foundation was poor, and the house even started to lean. The wood was also riddled with termites. They had to demolish it within a year. Then she went around borrowing money from relatives, but everyone had heard our story. So, no one was willing to lend her money. Reluctantly, she turned to loan sharks and now lives buried in debt. I'm not sure what Mom was thinking, but I feel like my sister did this to herself. She took advantage of a family that loved her and then just left us. Maybe money is what ruined everything. She used to be so caring. Perhaps this is a good lesson for her. I don't want to end up like my sister. I vow to appreciate those around me and not lose sight of what's important, living gratefully.